If you have visited Tall Ship Providence recently, you may have noticed glimmers of silver shining in the water around our ship. While I would love to say this is sunken treasure hiding in the depths of the Potomac, it is not any precious metal. However, I wager that it is something just as valuable to anyone living around here. In fact, swimming in the shadows of our ship are silver-clad Hickory Shad. Recently, they have been quite numerous in our waters. But before I get into any more of this fishy business, let me introduce myself. I am Christopher Gardner, and I serve as quartermaster aboard Providence. As such, you can call me Quartermaster Kit. Originally, I am from Gloucester, in the colony of Massachusetts. There, I am by trade a fisherman. That is, until recently. With the British threatening our waterways and general way of life, I decided to take action. Like many of the good people from Gloucester, I put down my trade to help the Continental Navy oust the British. Hopefully, this war ends quickly so I may return to my humble fishing grounds. For now, I serve to keep both the crew and the supplies of our hold organized. Unfortunately, we do not have any time or opportunities to fish aboard Providence. As a naval vessel, we need to fight, not to fish. Plus, it is better to be prepared with enough rations rather than chance our luck fishing. Part of my job is to prevent mutiny, so running out of food is a quick way to inspire one. So, we don't do much fishing aboard Providence, but back in Gloucester, I have a whale of a time. There, my main catch was cod. I would go out in a dinghy of a rowboat called a dory and drop a trawl line. Now, a trawl line is a long line with many baited hooks. Atlantic cod can get 3 feet or more, so they are not to be trifled with. Once caught, I would take these fish back to shore to preserve them with salt. If you ever have a chance to visit Gloucester, you will find the beaches filled with racks of salt called curing in the sun. While using a trawl line from a dory is a great method for fishing out on the Atlantic Ocean, you don't need either here on the Potomac. Where we are in Alexandria, fish come right up to the banks, so all someone needs is a bit of a line with a baited hook, a net, or even just a harpoon. Using these tools, you can catch a variety of fish, including striped bass, American eel, sturgeon, and of course, shad. Right now, in seemingly endless amounts, Hickory Shad are schooling. Every spring, these fish migrate from the ocean back to the rivers and streams where they were born to mate. Fish that do this are anadromous. Aside from knowing their seasonal pattern, we can tell these are Hickory Shad because they are shining silver. These fish are small but mighty. They grow to just over a foot and weigh in at a few pounds. Noticeable also is the darker coloration along the spine of the fish. They certainly are stunning fish. Catching them is quite easy in the spring. As they are so numerous, all one needs to do is throw a net. Should you try to catch them on a baited line, it is best to wait until autumn. Set upon their migration, they only have one thing on their mind. As such, they are much less likely to feed during this migration. They've saved up all of their energy from their time in the sea to reach inland rivers. If you prefer to catch them with bait, you will have to wait. In fall, young shad with voracious appetites migrate to the sea. Ultimately, it is the fisher's voracious appetite that makes them so useful. Once caught, there are few ways to cook or store them. Most often, shad will be salt cured and stored to eat through winter. Fresh shad is best served after being cooked over a fire or added to a stew. It does take a bit of experience to eat shad, as they have over 700 bones. But make no bones about it, these fish are an important source of food. Native people here readily dine upon these bony fish, and they have done so for generations. Colonists likewise have relied on these fish since they first arrived. It's no salt cod, but salt shad keeps you fed when winter weather makes you want to stay in bed. Over time, this fish became revered for its ability to keep people from starving. One such admirer is quite famous. Just down the river at his estate at Mount Vernon, General George Washington has proven himself an avid fisherman. He is so successful that I hear half of his revenue comes from the sale of salted shad. Of course, he prefers to fish for American shad, Hickory Shad's larger cousin. American shad are bigger than their hickory cousin and have black spots that line the upper half of their sides. Aside from this size difference, the best way to tell hickory shad and American shad apart is by the mouth. Hickory shad have a bottom jaw that extends past their lower jaw. Despite these differences, both types of shad are vital to the diets of the people who live here. A tall tale tells of an early run of migrating shad in 1778 that saved the Continental Army soldiers at Valley Forge. While this story highlights how shad can save the day, they were already keeping soldiers there well fed before the winter rations ran low. Taking colonial fisheries and limiting food supplies are often used as British war tactics. That year, British forces sabotaged the route up to the Schuylkill River, preventing any shad from swimming to meet the soldiers. Instead, shad from the Potomac were cured and sent in large supplies to sustain the Continental Army at Valley Forge. So, while an early run of shad didn't save the soldiers from the vicious winter, shad still saved the day. It is indeed a great boon that these hickory shad are sheltering in the shadows of our Tall Ship Providence. I surely hope you now love these small but mighty fish as much as I do. If you want to hear more fish tales from Quartermaster Kit, sound off below deck. Next time you see these fish swimming near you, I hope you stop and have a moment of gratitude for these fantastic fish. Not so bad, that hickory shad. See you on the next billowing breeze, fair winds and following seas.
Thank you all for joining the Tall Ship Providence Foundation on this Tall Ship Tuesday. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We put out new educational material each week about maritime history, seamanship, tall ships, and even the occasional sea shanty, so don't forget to share this with someone who might want to learn something new. Until next time, we hope to see you back again on another Tall Ship Tuesday. Bye!